I want to talk about GoPro's Hero 12 camera. Not so much the features and benefits of it, but more why did they actually launch it in the first place? I ordered a GoPro Hero 12 on the day it came out. I ordered it direct from GoPro, and then I saw a Rainmaker video that pointed out there was no GPS, so I canceled the order. Canceling an order with GoPro is actually not that easy, but I did. And 24 hours later, I then ordered it again. I got my Hero 12 and I got the Max Lens Mod 2.0 as well, and immediately fell in love with both of them, mainly because of the insane stabilization and horizon lock. But most of the chatter, whether it's on Reddit or here on YouTube or elsewhere, is really GoPro, this is just a Hero 11 without the GPS, isn't it? I want to talk about why did GoPro launch a camera that has so many people questioning why they launched it in the first place. Now that I've had the Hero 12 for a few weeks, and I've done a few videos here on it, so I think I have a pretty good view of how me, as what I consider to be a fairly average GoPro user, is actually doing with the GoPro Hero 12, particularly with the Max Lens Mod 2.0. Then we're going to wrap up with, should you buy Hero 12? Whether you're an existing GoPro user or you are new to the action camera space, really is Hero 12 the right camera for you? So we'll come on to that later on in this video. So let's start with, why did I buy Hero 12? Well, honestly, I buy them all. I always upgrade. Every year I upgrade. I set them up for different things, and that's my excuse for why I have multiple GoPro cameras, and I also use them extensively. I consider myself to be a fairly average GoPro user. I'm not doing all the dramatic sports that all the marketing stuff shows. But in reality, also an awful lot of people use GoPros to film their pets and their kids. So I think I'm kind of in the middle when it comes to the typical consumer for GoPro. Now, I know from some of the discussions on other GoPro videos I've done, a lot of you guys also use GoPros for running, swimming, hiking, and biking. So I know I'm not alone, but I suspect most people don't upgrade their GoPro every year like I do. People will typically upgrade a product when they see significant benefit, a huge jump in performance compared to the stuff that they already have. The fact that there hasn't been a big change in performance or technology or even wow factor, I suspect an awful lot of people are not going to upgrade to Hero 12. And the additional thing this year is they've actually taken some features out in the case of GPS. Sales are down. Now, that's not just me speculating, and that's not actually based on the Hero 12 either. Sales were already down. Earlier on this year in Q2, GoPro sold 660,000 cameras globally. That's it. Now, that number is down because of a number of reasons, and let's just look at those reasons quickly. I think there are three key reasons why GoPro sales are down right now. Firstly, people are spending less money on luxury items. An action camera is a luxury item. It's not what's considered a consumer essential. Secondly, there are some new cameras out there that, I hate to say it as an absolute GoPro fan, they're not that bad. I'm talking about you Insta360 and you DJI Action 4. I'm not going to tell you that they're substantially better than the GoPro cameras because they're not. So they're kind of comparable. That is going to take share from the main play in the market, which is GoPro. So your sales are going to be down when you have two fairly major competitors with a pretty big marketing budget behind them and an awful lot of influencers behind them pushing those sales. Every time you buy an Action 4, that's one less GoPro that's being sold, so that will have an impact on sales. And C comes back to the earlier point. You don't really have a big upgrade with Hero 12. Hero 12 isn't that much different to Hero 11. And for the average user, it's not really that much different to Hero 10, not really that much different to Hero 9. There have been times when there have been some major leaps in performance and technology in the GoPro lineup. When the Hero 1 came out, that was the first digital GoPro. That was quite a game changer. Hero 3 Plus brought full HD. Remember that? That was 1080p. Hero 4 brought 4K. 30 frames a second, but it brought 4K to a camera at a time when most people weren't using 4K. After Hero 4 came Hero 5. Some logic there in the marketing perhaps, but Hero 5 was a totally different animal. It was a different form factor, had a much less fiddly battery compartment cover that didn't fall off and disappear every time you tried to take it off. It had an integrated waterproofing system, and it had an integrated touchscreen on the back. Hero 5 was a big success for GoPro. I can tell you, I bought Hero 5 and I started using Hero 5 way more than I ever imagined I'd use a GoPro for. So I started taking, with Hero 5, some much better pictures and much better video, not just because of the technology improvement, but also it became a much more usable camera in a lot more situations that I was finding myself in. Now, after Hero 5 came Hero 6, 7, and 8, and they all improved things like stabilization, the sensor technology, they changed the processor too, but essentially not a significant change in what GoPro was doing. Then we get to Hero 9. Hero 9 was a great camera with a very slow processor, so that was replaced in Hero 10. Hero 10 11 and 12, it's not really a lot of difference. So if you have a GoPro 10 or you have a GoPro 11, or maybe even if you have a GoPro 9 and you're not bothered about the sluggishness of it, why would you spend money on a Hero 12? Hero 12 is by far and away the smallest, lowest level of improvements in performance and technology over the previous version of GoPro that I think we have ever seen. And that is being very widely communicated. And the fact that GPS has been taken out of the GoPro has actually formed, I'm going to guess, a much bigger discussing point than GoPro perhaps anticipated it would have done. Sales are down already this year. I'm expecting that sales of Hero 12, unfortunately, are going to be even lower than GoPro might have expected. But they're in corporate America. They're a $1 billion company with strategy divisions, annual reports, quarterly calls with investors. If sales don't grow, investors get nervous. And investors get nervous by selling their stock. And if you sell the stock price starts to go down, and then the value of the company goes down. They have to continue bringing out new products, continuing the momentum of continuous improvement of their product line. And one of the ways that GoPro has done that up to now is to release a brand new camera every single year, sometime in September or October. So here we are, September, October 2023. There isn't a 1-inch sensor camera out there, which was rumored would be coming. And there isn't a GoPro Max 2 that was rumored coming either. What we get instead is Hero 12. If GoPro hadn't launched anything right now, I guarantee the discussion and the stories will be far more negative than the ones that are out there today. Why hasn't GoPro launched anything? What's happening to GoPro? Is GoPro going to be bought by somebody? Is GoPro in financial trouble? Well, actually, GoPro's been making a loss for quite some time, but don't worry about that. I'm not worried about the future of GoPro at all, and we can talk about that another time if need be. But they are actually trading at a loss right now, which also limits how much money they can spend on research and development for new products. Now, I think, and I'm wildly speculating here, I think if they'd had the choice, GoPro would have launched something groundbreaking and new right now. The fact that they didn't tells me it wasn't ready. It could be that they are just extremely brave and courageous, and they're holding back on a big launch of a 1-inch sensor camera, or more likely, I think, a GoPro Max 2, which I think is pretty close, by the way, but another video. It was very courageous for them to decide not to launch that right now when everyone is expecting something new from GoPro. So my feeling is, even though I think Max 2 or Max 2.0, maybe they want to call it, is just around the corner, it wasn't ready for launch right now, which is why they didn't launch it. So given that GoPro didn't have anything new, they had to find some way of stretching the performance of what they had and then market the heck out of it and talk about it a lot. So we get a fancy new finish to the casing, because it is. It's quite cool, actually. They've added a couple of new video modes in log and HDR. They've added some Bluetooth functionality, which frankly I think is a total waste of time. And they have hinted at some of the GoPro Max 2.0 technology that they are getting close to launching, because frankly that's what we're seeing with Max Lens Mod 2.0 is something very, very close to 50% of a 4K 60 frames a second video 360 camera. And then do a cost-cutting exercise at the same time, which is why we don't have GPS. All that stuff about heat saving, battery saving, I'm sorry, I don't buy any of that for a minute. You could just have the default being no GPS turned on, and it would not be using any power, and it would not be creating any heat either if it was deactivated, and you could then reactivate it if you wanted to use it. They took it out because they could save money by not having that technology and that kit inside the camera. The basics of Hero 12 are exactly the same as Hero 11. The sensor is identical, the processor is identical, the body, the housing, the battery use, they're all exactly the same as the Hero 11. So this probably is the smallest improvement from one GoPro model to another with what they've done with Hero 12. So we talked about why GoPro launched Hero 12. Why should you buy a Hero 12? Well, I'm going to look at my use case first. I have run and cycled with this GoPro so much in the last couple of weeks or so since I got this camera, and I am just blown away by the stability with Horizon Lock and Hypersmooth 6.0 that's on this camera with the Max Lens Mod 2.0 on it as well. It's just insane how smooth it is even when I'm running with no gimbal. I'm also very surprised by the microphone capability of Hero 12. On paper, it's no different to Hero 11, But I'm going to tell you, it is. I'm not using the media mod at all with Hero 12. I just don't see a need. So I'm either going to use the microphones on it when I'm running or cycling. If I'm doing anything else, I use a lav mic with a Zoom recorder. For the stuff that I'm doing with my GoPros, I don't have a need for log. A lot of you will say you use log, and that's great. I don't do it because I am running and cycling with my GoPros and sometimes hiking. I just take the footage, and I'm more interested in editing it than color correcting it because I'm not usually integrating it with something else. Maybe I should because I'm doing YouTube videos, but I don't. So at the moment, log doesn't really interest me too much, but it's good to know it's there for the future. But I don't think I'd have bought the camera because of it. HDR, I don't use HDR. I don't use it on my iPhone. I certainly don't use it on my Sony cameras, and I don't use it on my GoPro. So that isn't much use to me. I don't really see a benefit of the Bluetooth using AirPods as a microphone feature. Any video I've seen of someone using their AirPods as a microphone sounds awful. The reasons that I like the Hero 12 is 1, Max Lens Mod 2.0 and the stabilization and the field of view I get with that stabilization is just incredible. 2, the microphones, even though they're not supposed to be any better than Hero 11, maybe I just got lucky or maybe I got unlucky with my Hero 11. I'm amazed by them. And if you're not sure, check out the video I've got of me running or cycling with the Hero 12, see what you think. And thirdly, that tripod socket on the bottom is so useful for all my other camera tripods. I'm really glad that's on there. But that's it. Those are the 3 reasons and the only 3 reasons why I'm glad I bought Hero 12. I'm really disappointed that GPS is gone, but I'm going to live without it. So should you buy Hero 12? If you're new to action cameras and you're undecided whether to buy a 12, 11, a 10, or an Action 4 from DJI, or maybe something from Insta360, I'm going to tell you maybe just look at the Hero 11. There's not a lot you're going to get with Hero 12, your first GoPro, that you can't do with Hero 11. I am going to tell you, though, to go with GoPro. GoPro have been doing this for a long time. They've got the technology nailed down. I'm still a bit wary of some of the marketing from some of the other companies. Insta360 X3 isn't any better than GoPro Max, which is now 4 years old. Anyhow, I'm a GoPro fan, clearly. So I'm going to say go with GoPro, but I would suggest just look at Hero 11. You don't need Hero 12. I certainly wouldn't go back to Hero 9. Hero 11 has the same sensor as well as the same processor as Hero 12. You won't go wrong with Hero 11. Now, if you're an average GoPro user, and I call myself to be an average GoPro user, you're probably going to have a GoPro Plus subscription. The Hero 12 direct from GoPro is $299 here in the US if you are an existing GoPro Plus subscriber, in which case you should be buying the 12 because the price is basically the same as if you bought an 11 or maybe even a 10 out on the market today. Anyhow, that wraps it up for this video. I hope this was useful. If it was, please do like and subscribe. My name is Julian. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.